Okay, here we are. We're about to do a basic service oil change on a 207 CRD 2.8 turbo diesel Jeep Wrangler. Okay, things we're going to need today. First of all, we're using 6.6 litres of good low ash oil. Check your owner's manual in regards to the correct oil that you need, or it's 7 quarts US. We're needing a 1.1/16 AF socket, and that's to take off the filter top, which I'll show you guys a bit later. An 8mm hex socket, which is the sump plug. Yeah, so look, I'll just sort of zoom in on these things so you can get a rough idea. And of course the filter, standard filter. That's the oil that I've been recommended to use by my oil retailer for the actual job. There's the hex keys, the sockets, of course a rag for cleaning up, a funnel, and somewhere of course to put your dirty oil in. It's all pretty basic, so let's do it, eh? Okay, this is under the CRD 2.8 turbo diesel. That's just a overview of the motor. Now I'll show you guys where the filter is. Sometimes can be a little bit deceiving. See that big plastic nut there? You just undo that as you would any other nut, and your filter's inside there. So see there? Yeah, so let's carry on with the job. Now I've got the socket and the ratchet on the top of the oil filter. I'm going to undo that and we'll take the oil filter off. As we can see, we've undone the oil filter. Pretty basic really, just to unscrew it from the top with a ratchet, and I'll take that other filter out and replace it with a new one. Now what we need to do, we need to place the filter in the housing. Now we've got to make sure that that little thing there lines up with, it's a bit hard to see, but there's a little hole there on the bottom of the screen. So what we do, basically, we'll line it up. That's dropped in and that's lined up. So as you can see there, that's the housing, the top housing of it, which will just screw on the top and it will just push into place. As simple as that. And of course, like I said, don't forget to change your rubber O-ring, which you should get supplied with the new filter that you buy from Jeep, of course, which Chrysler. Okay, here we are under the Jk. We're about to undo the sun plug. The sun plug, I've coloured it in white so it's easy to be located for you people out there. But it's a hex key, as you can see. That's it there, it's an 8mm. So let's go ahead and empty the oil. Okay, there we are. We've taken the hex key out. The oil's draining as such into my waste container. Right, we'll wait for a little while for all that oil to drain and we'll carry on with the next step. Okay, once that oil's all drained, probably take a few minutes to a half hour, depending on how fussy you're going to be. We've got all the dirty oil on there, we'll discard that, and we'll put the sun plug back in. Now one thing we need to know to make sure with the sun plug, now there's a copper O-ring there, we've got to make sure that's intact, in good condition. Sometimes it pays to change them. In this actual case it looks quite good, so I'm not going to bother today. But it always pays maybe to have a spare one just in case. And we've got to make sure that copper O-ring goes in, because if it doesn't we will have leaks. Okay, let's go and put that on. Now I've just put that sun plug back in, nice and firm, not over tight. You don't want to strip the thread on the sump there at all, because otherwise you'll be in all types of trouble. Okay, right, we'll let the car down, we'll discard the oil in a green waste container to be recycled, and we'll fill the car up with our recommended oil. Alright, we're at the final stage now. That yellow cap that we're looking at the moment, that's where we stick our oil in. Now we've got a dipstick there. It's yellow in colour too. That will tell us exactly how much oil is in the car, but it's recommended 6.6 litres. 7 pints I think it was, quarts, sorry. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Now I've just taken off the oil filler cap on the top of the motor, and I've taken out that dipstick too, as you can see sitting on the top of my radiator. If we look at it as closely as humanly possible, and I hope that the markings there, you want to actually make sure that that top marking there, we don't exceed that marking there in the oil level. That's the recommended level, and let's go and fill this up then. Okay, we've just put our 6.6 litres of oil in. That's the method I use anyway. I try not to waste any oil because it's quite expensive, but everybody does it their own way. But as you can see, the dipstick is back in there. I've checked the level. The level looks pretty good from here, but one thing that you must keep mind of is that start your car up, make sure that you don't have any oil lights coming on saying that there is no oil pressure. Be aware of that. Don't over rev the car evidently until the oil pressure comes up, and recheck your motor oil once the car actually cools down. That's what I normally do. I think it's a good practice, and of course keep an eye on it weekly. Okay, well that basically wraps it up for the oil change on the 2.8 CRD turbo diesel Jeep Wrangler Jk. Alright, I hope that helps everybody with the filter side of things. The rest of it's pretty basic, but yeah, there's not a lot of information out there unfortunately. Okay, thank you.